They represent kind of various components of the energy sector. The first speaker is Marisa Slaten. Marisa is Director of Regulatory Services and Strategy at Pepco Holdings. Pepco is an Exelon company, and Marisa has been there since 2017. She's responsible for leading the regulatory activities with stakeholder engagement for the Delmarva Power and Light in Delaware and Atlantic City Electric Company in New Jersey. In this role, Marisa manages regulatory and compliance filings, testifies as policy witness, and regularly meets with government officials and industry leaders across priority initiatives. It's my joy to introduce you to Marisa, who will be sharing some remarks with us this morning, and I think we'll leave time for a few questions after her remarks. Marisa, thanks for joining us, and you're up.
Great, thank you, Travis, and good morning. It's my pleasure to be here virtually with you this morning and share a bit about Atlantic City Electric's commitment in South Jersey, as well as what we're doing in the area of economic development and workforce development. I do have some slides, so if you want to put those up, we can start flipping through those. Thank you. Next slide. First, I'd like to just ground everyone on the area in New Jersey that Atlantic City Electric serves. Many of you may be familiar, but I think it's a good starting point. We provide electric service to the 8 southernmost counties in the state. So that includes about 124 municipalities and almost 560,000 customers. Our service territory, as you can see from the slide there, is quite large. It includes over 2,700 square miles, both rural communities, shoreline communities, the casinos in Atlantic City, and every type of geography that you can find in southern New Jersey in between. So it really does create a unique opportunity for us to see the diversity of the state and also provide customer service to meet our customers where they are and make sure that the energy that we are delivering both supports local business needs and is safe and reliable. If you can turn to the next slide. And so you've heard some comments already this morning talking about New Jersey's clean energy goals and the green revolution in New Jersey. And Atlantic City Electric is happy and committed to be part of that. We work very closely with the Board of Public Utilities and other stakeholders in the state around Governor Murphy's clean energy agenda. We were right there at the very beginning of 2018 when the legislation was passed. And so as you see on this slide, the areas that are laid out in the state's clean energy agenda are broad, and they really do cover a host of issues that will take us into the future. And so it's electric vehicles. You're going to see an expansion of the deployment of electric vehicles in the state, both from cars on the road, as well as infrastructure and charging stations to support them. Energy efficiency is another top priority, where the state has now set required reduction amounts for energy savings in the residential and commercial spaces. Again, that creates a large opportunity for new job and job growth development in that area. And as part of the proposals that the public utility industry will put forward to support that agenda, part of that is workforce development. Next, I'll turn to community solar and renewable portfolio standards, because both of those do touch upon solar deployment in the state. And there is a very ambitious target, and I think you heard it before, which is 100% clean energy by 2050. That doesn't include, that is not exclusive to solar, so that's all forms of clean energy, including wind and other technologies, but solar is a huge part of that. And New Jersey is already a leader, and it has been nationally for several years now in the amount of solar deployment inside the state. Offshore wind is a trailblazer in New Jersey. And you heard in one of the comments earlier this morning that there's going to be quite a significant job growth and job opportunities there, not just from the construction of the wind turbines themselves, but when that port is located here in New Jersey, that'll create construction opportunities, it'll create supply chain opportunities, it'll create other operation and maintenance opportunities. So the expectation is that there will be some really significant and real job growth and job creation happening in Southern New Jersey with the development and long-term operation of wind, solar, offshore wind, offshore wind, wind farm, off the coast of Atlantic City. And then AMI and energy storage. AMI is a smart meter, it's advanced metering infrastructure, and energy storage. These things together help to create the what we call the grid of the future, the electric grid of the future. How do we ensure that customers are able to have all of the solar and distributed resources, the non-traditional resources that they want at their homes? Storage is very helpful to that end. Smart meters are very helpful to that end because they allow the utility to really understand what's happening on its grid at any point in time and respond to that and not just be reactionary, but actually plan for needs. And we'll see over time that with the increased amount of solar, with the increased amount of electric vehicles, with storage and perhaps even microgrids coming online inside of the state, that the need for smart meters really does increase, and the need for transparency into what's happening on the grid does increase as well. This all means, from the utility perspective, that the traditional jobs of the utility of old are changing. And there are a lot of new opportunities that are either currently existing or that you're going to see growth in those areas. And on this slide, I have those sectors laid out. If we can go to the next slide. And so I think, it will be critical for the workforce of the future to be adaptable, to understand where the job trends are going, and how to be flexible enough to position yourself to be ready for that when those opportunities come up. And so, the company, we're working to create jobs in the clean energy sector and support local businesses and help power New Jersey's economic recovery. We play a truly vital role in South Jersey's economy, and we're an active partner in the region's economic development. You'll see we've got almost 1,000 employees working in New Jersey, and almost 570 of those employees are IBEW or 2010 local members, and 1238 members as well. So, we work a lot with the unions as well as non-represented folks, and there's a role for everyone. One of the things that the company is really proud of, and this is something that we launched right on the heels of Governor Murphy's announcement of the Clean Energy Act in 2018. And that was our $6.5 million investment in Southern New Jersey towards workforce development over the course of 6 years. And this investment, it shows up in that we partnered with a number of workforce development boards and vocational tech schools in order to deliver training programs and make them accessible in our communities. And so we launched these programs to train for energy-related jobs and to help train for the workforce that's needed to fill future employment opportunities inside the industry. So some of the schools that we're working with include the Atlantic County Institute of Technology, Cape May Vocational Tech School, Cumberland County Tech, and each of the 4 workforce development boards in our area: Atlantic County, Camden County, Gloucester, and Cape May as well. Some other programs that we are partnering with those organizations to run include a test prep boot camp. Because for a number of the construction, for all of the construction jobs in the utility space, they do require that you, at first, take a test, a construction and skills trade test. And then from there, you, if you're interested, can go into one of our technical training courses like School for Linemen. If you're interested in becoming a lineman, there's a specific training for that. We also offer, in partnership with those other schools, a program called Women in Sustainable Energy Employment. And that is a program that's designed to offer career exploration for women who want to consider non-traditional in-demand jobs in construction, gas, water, electric, and energy industries more broadly. So it offers a 40-hour-long curriculum for women to learn about career paths in that area. We also have a program, and I think I mentioned Line School, but we also have a program with one of the local high schools to facilitate an energy career academy and prepare high schoolers for entering post-secondary education or moving directly to employment with a utility and helping communities to grow. And so these programs, though they're offered in our region, you don't have to, they train you to be ready for the workforce. And so you can take the skills that you learn there and apply them, whether it's working for a utility or working inside the industry with one of our program partners, construction companies. We have a huge partnership with a company called Jingoli. Jingoli is a contractor, and they have hired 18 young adults in and around Atlantic City to help with a major reliability and construction project in that area. And the focus of that is to orient and train new hires for various positions. When I started out my comments talking about the direction that the state is going inside the energy space and the huge opportunity for new jobs and jobs opportunity with either solar or offshore wind, or perhaps even in the energy efficiency space. I think for me, the key takeaway is that it is good now, there's no time like the present, to start preparing yourself for those things and to be as nimble as you can. We work a lot with contractors. And I think part of the truth about contractor work is that when the contract is over, you have to look for the next project. And so it is, I think, really critical for the workforce of the future to be adaptable. And I'd also say to think outside the box. There are a huge number of jobs inside of the energy space, inside of a public utility that you don't see. A lot of folks are very familiar with our crews and linemen, or perhaps our customer service reps. But there are so many positions inside of the company, and that, I would encourage anyone who's interested in working inside of a utility or inside of the energy sector to explore all of those options. Because I do think that there is a role for almost any kind of skill set that you might have. My background is law. And so I started my career as an attorney, and I was doing insurance litigation. At some point thereafter, I started doing civil rights litigation, representing the state of New Jersey out of the Attorney General's office, and happened to one day volunteer for an assignment supporting clean energy and the Board of Public Utilities. And so I just offer myself as an example of how important it is to stay open-minded about what your career path might be, and just explore things that you may not have previously thought about, because you don't know where that is going to take you, whether you are someone who is newly entering the workforce or someone who has been working for 20, 30 years and wants to redefine yourself or recreate yourself. These things, they come up, and sometimes it's a matter of opportunity, and timing matching. One thing that I will say that is critical for both a long career in the energy space as well as pivoting is that our employees, no matter whether they are in our call center as customer reps, or they are linemen, or they are in our corporate office, there is a good amount of customer engagement. And from that perspective, no matter your role, having good communication skills is important. Having good people skills is important. Having those soft skills that really demonstrate that you are a good representative of the company will be critical for any long-term career path that you might choose. Last but not least, I think I would be remiss if I did not mention that through these programs and through other efforts that the company takes in South Jersey, we have a tremendous volunteer effort of our employees. We give hundreds of thousands of dollars in charitable contributions inside of the region. We have a strong commitment to the communities that we serve. We also have a strong commitment to ensuring that our contractors and our workforce shares our same values. And so from that perspective, we make intentional investments to ensure that we have diverse suppliers, and that also we have diverse hires in the state as well. And so I offer that as closing remarks because it's not just about preparing the workforce for the job, but it's also understanding that the workforce should represent the communities that we serve. And that also helps us to ensure that we are interacting with our customers in a way that is mindful and sensitive to the diversity of our region as well.